This is the Genesis GV60. It shares the same platform as the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or the Kia EV6. So today I'm going to test it, see if it's worth it to have this Genesis badge on the front. I'm going to test also the acceleration. We're going to test the range in winter condition. We're going to talk about the technology, the design inside and out. Welcome to the Torq Media channel. Under the hood of this GV60, we can find a really small cargo space just here underneath that engine cover. But still, you know, decent powertrain for this GV60. We've got a dual motors who's going to make an all-wheel drive system, and this is matched to a 77.4 kilowatt battery. It's good for 429 horsepower and 446 foot-pounds of torque. Really interesting stats for this GV60. More power, more torque, equal more fun, a little bit more expensive. We'll see on the road. All right, I'm going to test the acceleration with the GV60. There's no launch control, but there's a spatial mode. I'm going to put it in sport, then press on boost. Ready to go. Here you go. You can do the 0 to 100 kilometers in about 4 seconds flat. So 0 to 60 miles an hour in about 3.8, 3.9. This is pretty quick off the line. So this famous button on the steering wheel, the boost button. So what exactly this button does, it's actually for 10 seconds, you get extra horsepower, extra torque. And when you press on it for 10 seconds, you've got 483 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. This is pretty cool. It's kind of gimmicky video game from my point of view, but still fun. It feels a little bit like you're pressing on the nitrous or something like that. You know, it's cool to impress your friends, and you've got that extra juice. It's fun. On the road with the GV60 this week. Really comfortable on the road, really that sweet spot between fun to drive and comfort. It's a really nice mix of the Ioniq 5 with the EV6. Really on the spot for the suspension for our roads here in Quebec. Amazing, you know, it's just really quiet down the road, really comfortable, but still enjoyable to push down the curve, accelerate, have fun with this. It's really fun, you know. The suspension, the work of the driving and all that, the driving dynamics of this, the way it push, you know, in the back and all that. You've got different modes of driving. You've got eco, comfort, and sport. It's really fun to drive. Speaking of these modes of driving, you've got a secret mode called the drift mode, and you've got a cheat code to enter that mode. It's a secret mode. So basically, to put it in drift mode, you have to put it in sport. Then after that, you have to remove all the traction. So press once and twice and hold it. Once it's all removed, you have to quickly press the 2 paddle shifter at the same time, and now you enter the drift mode. So once you're in the drift mode, it's gonna put more power in the back. I tried it a little bit this week. It was not the best condition or the best place to try the drift mode. For a big all-wheel drive, heavy car, it was fun to drift, easy to drift, and it's kind of those Easter eggs, you know, you like to show off to your friends, or you know, it's some gimmicky game stuff, but still, it's fun to see. You know, at Genesis, they're not that serious, you know, they like to have fun, and you feel, you know, there's some younger, you know, engineers behind that brand. Design wise, we've got that good old SUV sport coupe shape like all the other electric cars on the market, like the Mustang Mach-E, but still this one, it's a nice design. I like the front end with those Genesis signature lights. I like the shape of it. I like the rear end. I think the design is really smooth. I think it's a really nice, well-balanced design, big wheels and all that, really cool. But for that smooth design, you have to make some sacrifice from my point of view. There's no wiper blades in the back like the EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq 5. So in the winter condition, forget about seeing something in the back when the conditions are harsh. So that's something missing. Maybe it's ugly for the design and the aerodynamics, but here in Canada we need that wiper blade in the back. Same thing for the door handles. They pop out of the doors. Not the best scenarios when it's super cold. Sometimes they don't really work. That happened to me a couple of times this week, also to my wife while we were testing this car. It's not fun when you try to enter the car and the handle doesn't pop out. I don't like those gimmicky things, you know. Maybe it's cool to impress your friends and all that. Maybe it's more aerodynamics, but you know, sometimes they don't work, and you're not super happy about it when they don't work. So you know, this week I'm testing the Chevrolet Bolt EUV at the same time. The Chevrolet Bolt EUV has got some good old real door handle, and I didn't have any issues with them all week long. So there's nothing wrong with some good old real handles. Interior wise, it's really nice inside of this GV60. It's really a mix of the Ioniq 5 and the EV6, but with all the best component. Really comfortable, ton of space, really good seats, but still you have some support. I like that floating metal console here. It's a really nice touch. There's like some place in between, you know, the passenger and the driver's seats. Tons of space for your legs and put stuff down below, similar to the Ioniq 5. We've got a spatial shifter this week. We've got a crystal ball who's gonna flip when you turn on the GV60. This is cool. This is really gimmicky, once again, from my point of view, to show to your friends. It looks really cool. It's a showcase piece, but once again, I'm not sure when you're in trouble or the car doesn't work as it should, how you're able to put it in neutral or something like that in case of an emergency. I have to check if there's like a special way to you know, flip that crystal when you're in trouble. But otherwise, you know, all the controls are easy to work with. There's still a tons of buttons. They didn't put everything on the screen, so you can control your heated seats, your heated steering wheel, your volume and all that. Same thing for all your climate. Really sharp, easy to use. Digital little buttons there, but once again, they feel like real buttons. The screen looks really good, kind of like you know, Mercedes-Benz, BMW. It's kind of like a large curved screen, but it's actually two screen. They work really well also. Stepping in the back, plenty of space, flat floor, easy to carry 3 people, comfortable, plenty of space even if you're tall. If we're looking at the trunk, plenty of space there also. Decent amount of space for this size of GV60. Range wise, with a full charge, you're able to do 378 kilometers. Quick reminder, I'm driving the Performance all-wheel drive, so it's a little bit less range than the actual base model. The two-wheel drive one, you can do 451 kilometers. And the winter range, I could say, that's something new I want to bring you guys. This week I was averaging about 280 kilometers of range and colder situation. So this week the temperature was in between 0 Celsius to minus 10 Celsius. So this week I was losing about 100 kilometers of range. That's something I noticed this week compared to the Chevrolet products. The Chevrolet products was managing a little bit better the heat than the Genesis. And once again, I think Genesis needs to maybe test a little bit more their products in cold situation, like they're doing at GM. GM, they're testing their products in really cold situation. They try to improve their heating system of the batteries and all that. So percentage wise, I was losing a little bit less range with the Chevrolet. Speaking of recharge time, if you're on the level 1, it's gonna take you about 34 hours. On a level 2, it's 11 hours. And if you have access to a level 3 fast charger, up to 350 kilowatts, it's It's gonna take you 18 minutes to recharge from 10% to 80%. So that's what you get when you get that platform with the 800 volt. You can use those really fast charger, the 350 kilowatts. So that's a plus for the GV60. Price-wise, the Genesis GV60 starts at $71,150, and the model I'm testing this week, it's good for $79,000 Canadian. You know, right on the spot for the price. I think it's a plus for Genesis because you're able to get the fully loaded one for under $80,000. So usually when you're looking at other luxury brand like BMW, Mercedes-Benz and all that, when you put all the options and all the performance, all that, the price goes up pretty quickly. So that's a plus for the Genesis products. You know, when I drove the Mustang Mach-E Performance GT, it was around the same price as this Genesis. Performance wise, size wise and all that, those two were pretty similar from my point of view. When I think about all the electric cars I've been testing in the 2 previous years, really decent products. One of my favorite EVs from my point of view. You know, the drift mode and the boost mode and all that, this is all like Hyundai and stuff. That's probably stuff we're gonna find in the next generation of Kia EV6 GT and probably the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. But these are cool stuff, you know. It's fun to drive, comfortable. You know, the range is decent, you know, but just a nice place to be behind the wheel of this GV60. It's easily in my top 5 electric cars. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about this GV60? Is it your favorite between the 3, or you prefer the Ioniq 5, the EV6? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and we're gonna see each other on next review.